welcome to ABC in the Morning Live here on ABC News GH with me, ABENA MANTE. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to have you join me on the show this morning, this very fine Wednesday morning, the 10th of December 2025. 10 days out of the 31 and 10 days out of 25. When I say 25, 25th of December is Christmas Day, and a lot of people look forward to Christmas, especially your children, your wards. They look forward to spending the festive season with you. And so by now, your children are counting down to Christmas. Your nieces, your nephews, all of the kids that love you are counting down to Christmas because they know that you will be celebrating with them. And so I pray for you that you're able to get everything you need for them to make their Christmas a beautiful one. But above that, I want to remind you, like I always do every day, that you keep your head up. Do not give up on hope. Do not give up on faith. Continue to have hope and faith. They are very important things, virtues that you need for your day-to-day activities. A person that wins is a person that has faith, that has hope, and you continue working hard towards your goals. You do not look at the impediments in your way. You surmount them and you pursue all that you want to achieve. So do not relent in the pursuit of your happiness. It's within your reach. You will be able to achieve it and all of the things that you seek to achieve. I wish you well today. If you're on your way to work, have a safe trip to work. If you're already at work, I hope your day has begun beautifully. You can watch us on Facebook and on YouTube, ABC News GH. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. If you have not liked our Facebook page, kindly do so. Our website is a website that is always active. There's so much news there, and so you can read all of the news you want on our website, www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com, and our socials at abcnewsgh_, at abcnewsgh_, so that you can interact with us there. We have so much on our socials you would love, and so just go on Instagram, go on X, go on TikTok, and type abcnewsgh_. You'll find us there. Click that follow button and let us interact there. When you also join our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube, I'd love to read your comments. Do well to leave a comment under the stream and I'll read it in good time. Today we have a lot for you on the show. Yesterday evening, Parliament took over the news. So much was happening in Parliament. Minority arrived in Parliament clad in black, clad in all black. They were vehemently opposing the declaration of the Pandai seat vacant. You know that Minority MP Matthew Nyindam is the one who occupies the seat. At the moment, that seat is vacant, and so nobody occupies it. The Clerk of Parliament, Mr. Homajietro, has written to the EC Chair, Jean Mensah, that the seat is vacant, and so she should facilitate all processes that will ensure that there is an election run in Pandai so that the good people of Pandai will have a representation. He did this following the Tamale High Court's decision that the seat be declared vacant. While Minority says they do not agree, they say that Speaker should direct the clerk to recall that letter. That decision Parliament has taken must be rescinded. And so yesterday the Minority were vehement. They say that government business will not be conducted if Matthew Nyindam does not return to his seat. It was very heated in Parliament yesterday. The majority also pushed back. Speaker was livid. It was actually very interesting in Parliament yesterday. We'll have conversations on this matter. Really, did Parliament exhaust all of the options available to it before it's declared the seat vacant? These are some questions we'll be perusing today on ABC in the morning. However, this chaos, one question I have asked here on ABC in the morning, a couple of times since this ninth parliament started was this ninth parliament going to take after the eighth parliament? You and I, we know how the eighth parliament looked like. It was a chaotic parliament. It was a parliament that many said was a disappointment to the democracy of Ghana because of how Parliament conducted itself right from its inception, right from the first night. And so for ninth Parliament, a lot said that, well, they could see that it would be calm, there would be more sanity in the ninth Parliament, seeing that the majority was overwhelming, and so you could see a clear majority, you could see a clear minority as compared to Parliament where they were literally at par. But this Parliament has not been one to shy away from the news. Ninth Parliament is almost always in the news. And so is this ninth Parliament taken after the eighth? And what is it going to look like? It's only been 11 months now. What is it going to look like for the next 4 years? And so these are some questions we'll be looking at today on our front story. On our main discussion again, we'll look at Parliament. We'll look at the Pandai seat. The NDC says they will take that seat. They're working hard. The NPP also says they're working hard. But the NPP have been very vocal, very annoyed, if I would say, about this decision by the Clerk of Parliament, by this decision. I mean, the Clerk didn't take the decision unilaterally. He made a judgment. But the NPP is very, very livid about everything that has transpired in this Bandai seat up until now. They say that some 40 polling stations are the polling stations in contention at the moment. The votes there, the vote difference is some 500. And so why would the judge ask for every one of the entire constituency's elections when the 40 that were in contention should have been the ones that the judge would direct or order that a rerun occur in? And so the NPP is angry. They are not happy. They feel that they feel that government, the NDC, is abusing its power by impressing upon some institutions to do their bidding. Well, we'll look at that today too on our main discussion. Parliament and Pandai. Parliament and Pandai. We'll bring you a lot on the show today. You don't want to miss out on that at all. We'll bring you ABC Speaks, where we will present you with some information, present you with the facts, present you with the numbers, present you with what the situation is saying, so that you too can make an informed decision. We'll bring you the latest in the world of sports. The sports team will be here to share all that we need to know about the world of sports. And then we'll open the phone lines so that you can call and share your thoughts with us on Ghana Speaks. You call us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. And then you share your thoughts with us on this matter. If you have any birthday wish you want to send, any goodwill wish you want to send to your friends, your loved ones, your family, get in touch with us. Slide into our DMs on our socials. Send us that message and we will celebrate them with you. We will celebrate them with you. Thank you so much for joining me here today on ABC in the morning. Right after this break, we'll have some conversations on our front story. Stay with us.
Kwame, you know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Gino Jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana Jollof.
Jollof Soko.
Jollof Soko, tasty nye.
What is going on here?
Enjoy Jollof the Ghana way. Gino Jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning live here on ABC News GH. We'll have some conversation on Parliament, the conduct of the minority in Parliament yesterday. The minority were in yesterday's actions by the minority quite. I'm trying to find the right adjective for their actions yesterday. I'm unable to really find the word to describe the actions yesterday. But they were so forceful in Parliament. They said that they had to have their way because an injustice had been done them. An injustice had been done their colleague, Matthew Nyindam, whose seat had been declared vacant. They felt that the decision taken by the Clerk of Parliament was wrong on all accounts, and so the Speaker should rescind his decision. He should tell the Clerk to recall the letter that he had sent to the EC. You see in your shot the minority at the majority's side. This just reminds me of the beginning of the 8th Parliament and how chaotic it was. This was so much chaos. I would like to take you back to Parliament so you listen to the Deputy Minority Leader. The Deputy Minority Leader spoke about this matter extensively yesterday. But well, before I get you that, let's listen to the Minority Whip on this matter.
Motion, and doing so, present your committees.
Until Pandai is resolved, government business will suffer. Get away! Get it clear! Get it clear! Until Pandai, I put it to you that until Pandai is resolved, government business is going to suffer. And from henceforth, you keep telling us you have 189, 185, and then 4 independent members. Go and marshal your numbers and come and do your business. Until Panda is resolved, we on this side will not cooperate. We are saying it again, we will not cooperate with you. And nobody is going anywhere. But we are not moving. We are not going anywhere. And so, Speaker, we have made that point. And we will continue to make this point. We are not obstructing government business. Now, we believe that governance is a continuum, and we must continue with government business. However, to the extent that you want to twist our hands, to the extent that you have conspired to twist our hands, I put it to you that government business will suffer.
Until Pandai is resolved, government business will suffer. That is the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompe, the MP for Swam Aduejri. Very blunt about that. But really, should government business halt or suffer because of one seat? Is that the best way to conduct one's self as a minority or as a part of parliament because one seat has been declared vacant? The minority, although they know their numbers are woefully small as compared to the majority's 185 seats, including the four independent seats they have. The minority say that, well, if the majority thinks they can have all of their numbers in parliament to conduct business, then they should go and bring them. But if it is dependent on them, the minority, if it is dependent on them as a minority, then government business is going to suffer. Government business is going to suffer. The minority have only about 86 seats in parliament at the moment. If the majority goes on the tangent they are going, that is the NDC, goes on the tangent, and the election occurs in Pandai, and Daniel Wapal of the NDC wins the seat, this dwindles the minority's numbers to 85. That means that the minority loses another seat. Already, we have seen the minority lose Akwetia following the death of Ernest Yao Kumi. The majority say that this really is not even about the numbers, it's about the principle of the matter. If there have been some infractions within the elections, we don't care how many seats we have. Even if we had 274 seats, we will still come after that one seat. And in any case, they are the government in power. Which constituency would want an MP whose government is not in power? So for the NDC, it is about winning the seat. And so, although they have the numbers, they're going to still go hard and win the numbers in parliament. NPP or the minority says that if this is not solved, this will not work. We are not going to make sure, or we are going to make sure that parliament or government business stalls. But with all that is happening, before the minority entered parliament clad in all black and displayed this action yesterday, could they not have dialogued? Could the leadership not have dialogued? What happened to dialoguing? What happened to conclave? What happened to talking amongst each other? Did we have to see what we saw yesterday in parliament? The minority says that the clerk notifying the EC amounts to unlawfulness and procedurally flawed actions. That's what the minority says. And they are not happy. They are not happy at all. And so they are asking for the letter to be withdrawn. And it's interesting, we're looking at our representatives in parliament and their actions. It's quite interesting. Our representatives in parliament, interesting, you know. I mean, in all of the chaos, some of them are still laughing with each other. But I mean, you always tell us that you are friends, you are friends, you are friends. We should not look at what you do on the floor. So if you are friends, why couldn't you have discussed this? Why couldn't you have discussed this before coming out and then letting us see all that has happened in there? However, you know, regardless of all that was happening, business was still happening. Business was still taking place. Speaker was conducting business like he would. And with that, the minority were also very, very angry about that. They did not understand why they had raised an issue. They were very vocal about the matter, and Speaker would still go ahead and conduct business amidst all of the chaos. Well, if that video is ready, we will play it for you so that you can appreciate that too. But yes, Speaker conducted business. Let's take a look at that.
Item number 9C is by the Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition is unavoidably absent, and so I crave your indulgence for his deputy, the Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, who is in the chamber, to lay the work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation on behalf the Deputy Minister for Lands, to lay the paper on behalf of the Minister for
Honorable members,
the Minister for Energy and Green Transition,
GNPC, for the year 2026. Honorable members, item 9C. 9C. Work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, for the year 2026. Honorable members, the work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation for the year 2026 has been presented to the House and referred to the Committee on Aid. I rise to second the motion, and doing so, present your committee's budget report. Mr. Speaker, I urge the Hamza Department to capture entire report as having been read. Mr. Speaker, as I state my conclusion, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore entreat the Ministry of Finance to uncap the entirely generating funds of the MPRA in order that the authority could open regional offices to enhance national coverage, strengthen compliance enforcement across the country, to effectively resolve all pension-related complaints across the country. Mr. Speaker, the National Labour Commission is pivotal in settlement of labor disputes in Ghana, giving it statutory mandate of ensuring compliance with labor laws and standards. Mr. Speaker, to facilitating the settlement. Okay, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion.
You know, some questions have been raised about the minority still staying in the chamber for business to be conducted. Could the minority just have walked out and then see whether the majority have the numbers to conduct business? Or was it just about creating chaos? Was it just about making noise, as some would call it? What was the end game for the minority on their actions yesterday in the chamber? Our speaker said that the business of the house would still be conducted. He put it to a voice vote and thought that, well, we still had the opportunity to run business in the chamber, and so go on. It's when you saw that now some persons from the majority, some persons from the minority converged in the middle of the house because of all the chaos that was occurring. But again, what happened to dialogue? Is this the best way to go? Is it that the minority has exhausted all of their options, and so this is the best route they could adopt to state their grievances, to put it out there that they are not happy with the actions that are taken? Really, is that the only way the minority could have acted? And in what way does this action by the minority affect them as a whole? In what way does it affect them as a whole? Well, at the beginning of this parliament, I remember the speaker saying that the majority should not bully the minority, seeing as they have small numbers. And the minority should also not think that because they have the opportunity to voice out, they would want to they would want to take advantage of that opportunity. But really, how does this reflect, these actions in Parliament, how does it reflect on Parliament? How does it really reflect on Parliament? We have been looking forward to speaking with some parliamentary watchers on this matter. We're looking forward to speaking with Clement Akolo of the Parliamentary Network Africa. At the moment, we have not been able to establish contact with Clement. When we do, we'll bring that conversation. We'll be able to establish contact with Clement Akolo of Parliamentary Network Africa. But yeah, this is what happened yesterday in the evening in our parliament, where our elected leaders decided this was the way they were going to deal with their issues. But rest assured, we'll be bringing you more conversation on this matter of Parliament on our main discussion. We'll peruse it further, we'll peruse it the more, to let us appreciate the direction our Parliament is taking, where our Parliament is going, really. What happened to consensus building? What happened to dialogue? And what happened to conclave? There's just so much to unpack from this. Is the 9th Parliament taken after the 8th? Is the 9th Parliament taken after the 8th? When you look at everything that has been happening in this Parliament, in the 9th Parliament, 11 months on, is the 9th Parliament taken after the 8th? Well, we'll bring you more conversations when it's time for our main discussion. We will take a break. When we return, Someone Yumabo brings you ABC Speaks. Stay tuned.
Rent back with the Pia Upa. Come on, come see you. Wait, Jessica. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, wono ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, no abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Baby, we are second. So you remember to pon need an advert. Let's why so by advert no you to pon na kwara nim dia.
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or products? Bring your company's vision to life.
And me come from media house we am potential films. So you must so you must don't worry. So what you to pon e cost you through advert dia contact woman.
We help businesses build their brands.
Ukraine omodjuma hote omo quality camera so many twa
reach their target audience and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
Omodjuma be new. Omodjuma is perfect. O contact no be good script about your product. Sound jet. They will give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So put you now on Makasa. First number way 0541 16 28 28. I'm repeating 0541 16 28 28. Call them. Number one,
Potential Films. We believe in quality.
Hey there and welcome to Streets We Day. On this episode, we are at Circle going to ask people a few questions about the new products of Gino. Stay tuned and follow me. Pacho, your friend say? Okay. Into your first question, one say, we should Gino adverts now. Omo nyumbi ende no omo kan bibi wo ho. Omo kan dey.
No, my Chris. Hi. Amenya no. Mabon.
3 sentences, 3 words. Wetin you catch me? Gino bibi. Wetin you catch me?
Oh, love you no.
But you want to mean Gino?
Wow, I love Gino. I can't miss this one. Is Gino pepper and onion?
Yes, that's correct. So here's your gifts for it.
Wow, thank you.
Hey Gino.
Gino.
Tomatoes paste. Ella, yeah, the onion, na yeah, pepper wom, bibia wom. What about your love for no Gino, we about your love.
Gino.
Perfume rice. I perfume rice. Different ones, Saba.
Aye. But we tomato paste near there, Gino.
As for that, the
perfume
rice. No papa near.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
On the show, we shall start by interrogating your athletes of matters with expert insight from our renowned medical professionals, providing you with actionable advice and cutting-edge knowledge to prevent injuries and optimize performance. They will connect you to the talking points where we'll bring you the big names, the famous faces, and leading voices on our radar in the world of sports for a lively conversation and diverse perspective.
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the talking points. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
On Ghana Focus, we shall spotlight our domestic leagues and heroes of other sporting disciplines.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC with Victor and the team as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my day jollof?
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so good.
Jollof so good. Tasty, yeah.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
Jollof so good. This advert is FDA approved.
ABC in the morning here with me, Samuel Nyimabo. This is ABC Speaks. Today we are looking at a conversation that we started from Monday. My colleague and the reporter Khadija Isifu brought us that very intriguing story, Left Behind, looking at Accra's daily rush hour struggle for a ride. And today on ABC Speaks, we are adding our voice to this developing story and this very important situation that needs to be addressed, especially in the capital and across the country. Now, in Accra, every morning, a ritual of indignity repeats itself. Workers, students, traders, and nurses queue for hours at bus stops only to watch vehicles pass by or fail to appear. By that, the same tide bodies begin the scramble all over again. This is not the drama of an occasional breakdown. It is a chronic policy failure that has been allowed to calcify into everyday misery for thousands of commuters. Recent reports by my colleague show that the system is fraying at the seams and the consequences are social, economic, and deeply avoidable. At the center of this issue is a collapsed promise, the Ayalolo Bus Rapid Transit model, launched with a fanfare as a modern complement to private trotro. Ayalolo was supposed to offer reliable, dignified transport. Instead, many of 8 buses lie idle, poorly maintained, or barely visible during peak hours, while the few that do run are old, overcrowded, and unreliable. This is documented across the country, across the capital. We've seen videos of the buses that are not in use, parked at the lorries at the station. The governments and successive government has closed its eyes on it. In fact, I remember that during the launch of this Ayalolo system, the government in 2016, November 2016, promised that it was going to inculcate the construction of a dedicated path for Ayalolo buses
moving forward. So from 2016, any major road development that would take place in Accra, we're supposed to see a dedicated lane for Ayalolo buses. What has happened to that? We haven't seen any of that. In fact, the buses have been left to rot. The few that are operating are nowhere to be seen, especially during these peak hours when people need them. Now, this is not only an operational problem, it's a government failure. The market response has been predictable and brutal. Now, private ride-hailing and informal operators fill this gap that had been left by the state transport system, but at a price. During rush hours and peak periods, surge in prices turns short trips into unaffordable luxury for many. You see trotro mates and their drivers increasing prices or fares, sometimes doubling and tripling it. And in some cases, people who have resisted these prices are chased out of the cars, are asked to leave the cars. It is as though the drivers now have a monopoly as to how pricing should be done at those periods, and they decide what price they charge. So if you are not willing to pay that price, you are chased out of the cars. Now, drivers are arguing that congestions and fuel costs force these fare increases. Now, passengers have also argued that they are being exploited when they have nowhere else to go, and that's the fact. The result is a two-tier urban mobility system. Those who can pay get to work on time. The rest loses productive hours, miss opportunity, and bear the cost of hidden cost of unreliable transport. It's not even as though these trotros are in good condition. Some of them are in a very bad condition, what you will describe as not worthy to be on route, but they are still on these routes, and at this period charging double of their prices they will usually charge because the system has failed. Now, worse still, the past year has seen waves of ad hoc fare increases, right? And confusing pronouncement by transport unions and regulators that deepen distrust. Now, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council and private union have been locked in public rows over pricing and responsibility, while commuters remain the collateral damage. Government without clarity produces chaos on the road. This is about much more than impatience. It is about the dignity and economic efficiency of Ghanaian workers. Long delays cut into productive hours, which means reduced wages, and disrupt schooling for students. If you follow the story by Khadija Isifu, students who are supposed to get home early, take some rest, help their parents in house chores, and revise their note before they get to sleep, they get to the houses at periods that they are supposed to be sleeping. Some get home by 8, 7 p.m. What time do they get to sleep? What time do they get to rest and prepare for the next day? So it disrupts a lot of things for workers, for students, and for everybody. Now, the health cost is stress, exposure to pollution, because during these peak hours, you are standing on the road and these dilapidated cars not worthy to be on the roads are passing by you, and the smokes are all over the place. Accident from overcrowded vehicles. The economic logic is obvious. Every minute wasted in transit is value lost to households and the national economy. Now, we've seen recent reports during festive season, like the Christmas festivities as we are coming to have, show that holiday traffic and market activity amplify these faults and these cracks in the system, leaving the most vulnerable to bear the brunt. So why has Accra's transport system failed to improve? Why? Now, the answers are structural. First, the political faction has repeatedly replaced sustainability planning. New administration demonstrate interest in headlines projects, but neglect long-term maintenance, funding models, and the hard work of integrating informal operators like the GPRTU into a coherent system. Now, the financing is also weak and fragmented. Yesterday, we engaged the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. They lament that the financing model for this, the operation of the Ayalolo system is unsustainable. Fair regulations and route management are not sustainably funded. Now, we see another challenge. The institutional role of regulators remain unclear. What are our regulators doing? Metropolitan assemblies within the Metropolitan Assembly and the MMDAs within the capital, what are they doing about this situation? What are the unions and the private operators doing about this situation? Often they point fingers at each other instead of coordinating solutions. Now, if you speak to the GPRTU, they will tell you it is the work of the security services to arrest and sanction drivers and maids who charge unapproved fees. But what happens to GPRTU cautioning its drivers? What is happening to the assemblies to get their forces or on the roads to ensure that sanctity and sanity is brought on our roads? The solutions are known. It's not like the political class do not know. It is the political courage to implement them that is missing. Now, Accra needs a multi-prong or multi-approach system to reform what we are seeing, the daily struggle of commuters to get a ride. First, to rehabilitate and expand state-operated services. Get the Ayalolo and Metro Mass running reliably with transparent funding and maintenance plan. Not one-off procurement as we see. Dedicated lanes as it was promised at the launch of the BRT Ayalolo system. Dedicated lanes where feasible will protect the BRT from gridlock. When we get dedicated lanes on our road, on our highways, we are constructing the Dodowa Afenya way, highway. We are constructing a lot of highways within the capital. We haven't dedicated lanes for these transport or public transport system, the Ayalolo buses. We have to also integrate the informal operators into a coordinated network with route licensing, timetable enforcement, and incentives for reliability rather than treating them as adversaries. We have to allow or find a way to bring the private transport unions. They are scattered across the country, many of them, the GPRT and others. We have to find a way to bring them together in a system that works, in a system that rewards those who do well and sanction those who do not obey the rules. We have to enforce fair pricing rules during peak periods and hold unions and drivers accountable. At the same time, establish a transparent fare adjustment mechanism linked to what? Fuel prices and inflation, so that drivers and commuters share predictable outcomes. Now, the excuse for most of these drivers is that at peak hours there is traffic, means that they are going to spend a lot of time in traffic, means that their fuel will get what? Drained. Hence, they will buy more fuel, so that's why they are increasing the fare. We have to have a system that is fair, that calculates the fares or the transport fare in a fair and just manner, that these drivers will not be forced or will not want to increase the fare at this period. And when we do that, then we can then sanction those who go against the rules. We also have to invest in a last mile solutions, save pedestrian routes, We have to get feeder services and regulated park and ride hubs so commuters can access main corridors without dangerous wait. Now, if you go to most of these lanes or the roads or the highways where commuters, when I say commuters, those who are waiting to pick their cars away, some of them wait by the roadside. In fact, some push themselves all the way into the road so that they will be the first to get onto the trotro. Because if they don't do that, they might stand there for hours. So we have to even create lanes for people at back stops, dedicated spaces for commuters to be able to stand and wait for cars to get a ride. Now, we also have to use data and technology to match demand with supply. We are in a digitalized system. Why can't we do electronic scheduling and using real-time passenger information? Smart ticketing to reduce queuing and boost efficiency. Why can't we do that? Now we have a tap and go system that was launched under the previous administration. What is happening with that? Somebody can, even if we should have a system that I can wake up in my house before I get to the bus stop. I have scheduled the car I'm going to pick. I have just like we do with the ride-hailing buses or cars like the Bolts, the Uber, the Shazzy, and all those. We are able to schedule our ride. Why can't we do that with our the public transport system? We need to rise above the theatrics and the rhetorics. Above all, the transport system reform is a social compact. It requires a clear political decision to prioritize citizen mobility as a core public service, not a campaign prop. We need to see this as a core public service and not see it as fulfilling even a campaign promise or seeing it as doing Ghanaians a favor. Leaders must move beyond the photo ops to demonstrate discipline, predictable funding, transparent procurement, clear institutional rules, and real penalties for those who flout regulations. Accra is a growing city with immense potential, but a capital that forces its workforce to waste hours each day chasing rights hampers productivity and deepen inequality. The daily scramble for a seat on a bus is not mere a commuter inconvenience. It is a moral indictment of public policy. If Ghana truly values the dignity of its people, it must fix how they move through their city. The clock is ticking, and thousands of Ghanaians can't afford to wait any longer. We must do better, and that's where the Ministry of Transport and all stakeholders must come on board to fashion out a lasting solution to this very what I describe as unfortunate solution that we find ourselves, because people have to wait hours to get car. If you work in the central part of Accra and you live in areas like Dondowa, Afienya, Kaswa, and the rest, your daily schedule is you wake up around 4 a.m. and you get to work around 8 a.m. and you get home around 10 p.m. and you wake up around 4 a.m. And that is not how we want to build our country. When we are putting our workforce through this unbearable stress, we don't expect people to be patriotic and repay kindly to a nation that treated as though we do not matter. This is ABC Space, and we hope that the duty bearers will listen and act on this. Abena, the story that Khadija brought, Left Behind, when I watched it at first, I mean, I was part of the production of the story, but when I watched it, it just told me something about how a country do not prioritize its citizens. Because this problem is not today. It didn't start today. It didn't start yesterday. It's a long-standing problem that when I came to Accra in 2019, it's been there till now. And everybody has seen it.
And it precedes 2019.
It precedes 2019. Everybody has seen it, but now it is worse.
Yes.
It is worse because you see, if you go to the main stations, the 37, the Kaneshi, Circle, and all the big stations, Tema, the Accra, Tema stations, and you go there around 4, 5, 6, and you see hundreds, sometimes thousands of people waiting to just get one trust key.
Have you stood in a queue for 3 hours before?
Fortunately for me, where I live is quite not far from town. So sometimes when they are getting these delays, I just use. Sometimes if I have much on me, I order right away.
Right.
Otherwise, I just put it to my feet and
there
walk
you
home.
Go. Because it's very disturbing, very worrying. The amount of time we spend just getting a car, and that's a waste of time.
Productive hours.
Very much, because if it's in the morning, you could have been working.
Yeah.
If it's in the evening, you could have been sleeping, resting. But then you spend all of your time.
Even students.
Yes.
It is worse for not just. And what is even worse is those in high school and then basic school.
There was a student in the report that talked about
that every day he has headache.
And
because he's not able to sleep early. He wakes up early because he has to beat traffic and get to school early. But when he closed from school, he has to struggle to get home.
To go, yeah.
It's unbearable.
And especially as we've entered into the festive season.
It's going to get worse.
Yes, it means you have to pick a struggle and stick with it. Yeah. You have to decide what you want to work with. But it's very disturbing.
A nation that puts its citizens to distress is not worth dying for. So if our leaders want us to die for this nation, they have to meet us halfway. At least meet us halfway. And if you go to social media, it is even worse. A lot of people, even in Kumasi, same thing is happening. And the transport ministry
has to do something about it.
The Parliament on roads and transport, the unions and all stakeholders must act on this decisively. In fact,
they do.
It should be something that the president should be worried, because he's the one who brought the Ayalolo system, but it is not working. The Ayalolo system is not working for us. We have to find a model that works for everybody to be at peace.
Because now it's a blame game. GPRTU says that
it is the police.
It's worrying.
And the police says it is the driver, so you don't even know who to complain to. But the government must rise to this.
Right. Well, Sammy, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's Sammy bringing us ABC Speaks. This report by Khadija Isifo is a report that we will be playing throughout the week and even into next week. It's very worrying. It's one that I'm very passionate about. We've been talking about our transport system in this country for a while now on ABC in the morning, and something needs to be done about it. You can't get a car. If you do get a car, they are charging you absurd fares, unapproved fares, and the Ghanaian commuter has to always bear the brunt. We'll keep bringing you more on this matter, but that's all for ABC Speaks this morning. We'll take a break. When we return, we bring you some conversations on our main discussion. Stay with us.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see what? Where Jessica? My friend, see me for.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to obtain and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Emacho, sister no man ko. When is campaign? Sister no man ko. If you're baby a many schedule no. If you know, meto atiaka. Inti ene, wo no ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh no abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenini na da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abe fi.
Tasty magic.
And your daddy trying to kiss keke.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
On the show, we shall start by interrogating your athletes of matters with expert insight from our renowned medical professionals, providing you with actionable advice and cutting-edge knowledge to prevent injuries and optimize performance. They will connect you to the talking points where we'll bring you the big names, the famous faces, and leading voices on our radar in the world of sports for a lively conversation and diverse perspective.
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the talking points. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
On Ghana Focus, we shall spotlight our domestic leagues and heroes of other sporting disciplines.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC with Victor and the team as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning, live here on ABC News GH. It's time for our main discussion. The minority in Parliament is demanding the withdrawal of the letter that the Parliamentary Service sent to the Electoral Commission concerning the declaration of a vacant seat. That Pandai parliamentary seat has been declared vacant. The minority says that Parliament should withdraw that letter. Speaker should direct the Clerk of Parliament to withdraw that letter. We'll have conversations on this matter so that we can better appreciate it. It's for this reason that yesterday the minority were clad in black in Parliament. They were very vehement about their decision. They were very stuck in their stance. They said that Parliament did not have the authority or right to do that. Parliament should have exhausted all of the options available to them before going the tangent that they went. And so they were very, very much unhappy about it. They say the letter must be withdrawn. We understand that the seat, the MP whose seat is now in contention, the MPs whose seat has been declared vacant, Matthew Yindam, is in Pandai at the moment, trying to galvanize the base for him. The NDC also says that they would have that seat. The NDC is also in Pandai at the moment, but the minority says that Speaker, tell the clerk to withdraw that letter. Tell the clerk to withdraw the letter. Well, let's have some conversations. Today, on our main discussion, we'll be speaking with Tanko Rashid Computer, who is the CEO for GIFEC. We'll also be speaking with Dennis Kwakwa, former Ashanti Regional Communications Director for the NPP, and Dr. Samuel Efrie, who is a senior researcher, senior lecturer, and political scientist at the Kumasi Technical University. Dr. Efrie joins me at the moment. Doc, good morning and thank you for your time.
Yeah, good morning, Abena.
I trust you're doing well,
I hope you're
sir.
doing well.
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you're also well.
Yes, very well this morning.
Wonderful. Doc, yesterday in the evening in Parliament, the minority were clad in black. It was chaotic in Parliament. They said that government's business would not happen if the seat that has been declared vacant, the decision is not overturned. When you look at our Parliament, one arm of government, and you see what's happening there, what does this mean for us as a people, our democracy?
Well, I greet your cherished viewers and also listeners as well. Abena, you know, the question is, are you surprised or are we surprised? There's nothing so surprising how Parliament has been branded till now, you know. So there's nothing that is so surprising for some of us. How I think the 8th Parliament started with, how in the inauguration of that Parliament. So if you compare to those actions and even this one, I don't think that we can say that is too much.
Well, so Doc, you say that the 9th Parliament is taken after the 8th Parliament.
Exactly. That is where it started. It started from the 8th Parliament. And so Parliament, in quote, is now being seen as chaotic Parliament. It is not about this 9th Parliament. This is from the 8th Parliament. So that is how we started. And if we are not careful, we will continue to, we get to a point where common sense will put us to a stop, so that we think about the way forward for our parliamentary democracy.
Okay. But yesterday, with the way the minority acted in Parliament, couldn't there have been a more refined manner within which minority could have acted? Did they have to be disruptive, as we saw?
You know, Abna, it has now been seen in Parliament that as it's like rebuttal. It's like what do we call it? A system where if you do me, I also do you, something like that. And that is what is happening, and that is what Parliament is now turning to. If you use other means to get to your destination, or maybe you used to end up in a way where you can try to achieve your goal, then basically you tend to have that intention of that you think that is the option. You can barely understand how it happens during the I think in the late or the ending of the 8th Parliament. Looking at how the NDC was doing things, and even we saw the NDC marching, parliamentarians marching, and those kind of things. So sometimes, if you do to the other side, and they also get the opportunity, you can also do to the other side of it, and that is what is being done. That is how Parliament is now being seen. So any opportunity that they get, any opportunity that the other side get, whether they are in government or in the opposition, they want to replicate what happened or what the other party did to them during their term of office. So that is what has been seen all this while. So the NDC is not careful, and they think that, I think they should not be deceived. The NDC should not be deceived as having the numbers that they can just make it a way that they can use to bully. At the end of the day, you are the government in power, and you are bound to lose a lot than them. So
is the NDC bullying anybody? This is a matter that went to court, Doc. The NDC took a matter to court.
It's the same thing that happens when you compare with the, what do we call it, the autocracy. It's something similar. So they thought that you went to court, and the court gave you the opportunity to let the MP go through the legal process before a decision was taken. So why not also compromise? You see, some of these things is being discussed by the leadership. So what I've seen is that leadership has compromised their way in a way that they think that maybe the majority think that they can go through a process. Sometimes, that's why I've been using the word common sense. Common sense needs to reign. There are certain things that is legal. There are certain things that you can use the right procedure. But when you are implementing those processes or regulations, you are bound to encounter some kind of challenges or problems or rebuttals. So if common sense comes in, then you all sit up and see the way forward at that moment. And that is what I believe that it will work out for the parliament of this, that is the 9th Parliament.
Well, Doc, let's look at the common sense aspect that you mentioned. This is a matter that had to obviously go to court. They raise issues of political, of election infractions, and so if you raise issues about that, you have to obviously go to court. And so I want to really appreciate where common sense comes in. But Doc, just a moment, joining us at the moment is Dennis Kwakwa, former Ashanti Regional Communications Director for the NPP. Dennis, you're welcome. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Abraham. Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the conversation. I'll come back to you very soon and pick your thoughts on this matter. But Doc, let me fully appreciate the common sense aspect of this matter.
You see, let me welcome my co-panelist, Kwakwa. If you call me, if he doesn't call me, I will advise myself. Anyway, when I talk about common sense, is reasoning for amicable solution to issues or problems. That is what I meant about common sense.
Okay.
Yes, it is just that when situation demands that we all have to be stiff-necked about certain issues, at the end of the day, the issue about be thinking on the other side of the consequences of it will make you to just have a better way to handle it so that it will not create much problems. And that is what I mean by common sense. So sometimes people will hold their stand, people will hold other things as if that they want to make sure that they are the right or they are the wrong side of it. But the word common sense comes in that no, what we are doing, we are going to hurt the country. We are going to be seen as a chaotic parliament. So why not see the other options of trying to handle this in a way that it will improve our image? And that is what I mean about that. It's not always that there are laws that we have to go through in a safe way. But sometimes you know that there has to be the other options of the environment that you can do to ensure that there's peace. And that's what I mean about that.
Okay. Well, Doc, I'll come back. Let me quickly go to Dennis and pick Dennis's initial thoughts on this matter. Dennis, your party, the NPP, has held a press conference about this Pandai seat. Not only did we see the press conference in Parliament, the minority of which all of them belong to the NPP, yesterday, clad in black, disrupted parliamentary proceedings, said that government's business will not go through if the Pandai seats declaration is not revoked. Is this the best way to go?
It's most excellent way to go. I don't think there's any better way for the minority to have justified the fact that this government is becoming authoritarian. But before we go forward, let me say hi to Dr. Efri. Doc, with all due respect, I will oblige and call as you have ordered me to do. And then a good morning to your viewers. I think the John Mahama administration gradually is trying to take this country back to the days of revolution. If you look at the sequence of events that started from the era of President J. Kufuor, that sought to make clear what democracy actually means for the constitution that we made for ourselves in 1992. The repeal of the criminal libel law and many other things came to just give freedom of speech, just to allow a rule of law, allow state institutions to do their work without any kind of interferences. But when John Mahama Kinehap got the opportunity to come back for his second time, gradually he's taking advantage of the democratic right that Ghanaians have given him to take us back to the days of revolution, leaving the tenets of revolution under democratic rule that Ghanaians have given him. This whole Pandai saga, what is in there? What is in there for the NDC? Apart from trying to instigate violence during the by-election, go and kill people, go and destroy property, what else are they looking for? And unfortunately for this country, the speaker, who has been given that privilege to preside over parliament, also sees no common sense in some of the things that the minority always talk about. It's too political, non-compromising, and always trying to do the bidding of the NDC. As simple as that. And so I believe what the minority did in parliament yesterday could not have been done in any better way. This NDC government think that they are the only people in this country, like John Mahama said, who have monotony over violence. Or they are the only people in the house that could disrupt government business if they are in opposition. I think what the minority did in parliament is a show of confidence to some of us. We believe that they've done the right thing. And until the speaker sees to what they are looking for, they must never allow any government business to take place in the chamber.
Really, did government business not take place? Yesterday, there was a quorum, and then the speaker was able to go through some of the motions that needed to be handled in parliament. If really the NPP or the minority did not want government's business to be conducted, wouldn't the best option have been to walk out? Seeing as they made reference to the numbers of the majority at the moment, it looks like the minority at the end of the day helped government's business to go on.
So if you look at what happened yesterday, anyway, the NDC has said that they don't need MPP to do any government business because they are.
Hello, Dennis.
Actually, at all times, they are able to do the MPP. Notwithstanding, they know that the proper administration of democracy and good governance requires that they themselves alone cannot always be in the house and execute government business and tell the people of this country that they did it together as a parliament. It's the reason why they prevented the minority members from walking out. So what you are trying to say is that if minority is present in the chamber, it gives them the opportunity to do government business. However, even if they are not there, they can still go ahead and do government business. But my point is that whenever they find themselves in the chamber, if they decide not to do the right thing, they should be rowdy. Let Ghanaians know the crime that they are perpetrating against everyone of this country. It's not against the MPP. Every bad thing that they are doing today, unfortunately, to the understanding of many Ghanaians, they think that it is the MPP that is crying a wolf. However, the minority's responsibility is to make sure that good governance is exercised for the good of the people of this country, not for any political party. So I believe that whenever they find themselves in the chamber, until the right thing is done, they must continue to re-echo the point that government is becoming authoritative. President Mahama is becoming undemocratic. He's manipulating parliament to do the bidding of the NDC. And if you are listening to Honorable Kojo Ponkoma's interview after the Bruhaha yesterday in the chamber, he has tried to let the people of Ghana understand why they are doing what they are doing. Because they believe that at every point in time, they must have what it takes to change the constitution of this country. It is a process. They started it with the Chief Justice. They've succeeded. If you look at this judgment, that was
overreaching with this comment about the third term for the president. This is about a parliamentary seat. The NDC, the NPP went into an election. The NDC says that we feel there were some infractions. We've taken the matter to court, as they should. A court has made a decision on the matter. We understand that the person in question, Matthew Nyindam, has also elevated this matter to the Supreme Court. And so this is all about elections. It's about
we didn't need to get to the point of even passing judgment on the matter. The laws of this country is clear. The law says that whenever election results are gazetted, if you have any complaint to make to the court, you do that within 21 days after the gazette of the results. And everybody in this country got to know that they did that after 21 days. So the judge didn't even have the moral right to have listened to the case.
Let me also talk about the fact that the date the NPP, are putting out is not the right one. And so why don't we let the court see to this matter, Dennis?
What court again? Now,
Matthew Nyindam has elevated the matter to the Supreme Court.
It doesn't matter. Honorable Nyindam is only trying to go through the process that people perceive to be justifiable. But I don't have confidence in everything that he's doing again. They have sacked the Chief Justice. Which judge in this country today will now go and administer justice that is in favor of an ordinary Ghanaian and not the NDC party? All judges are kowtowing to what the NDC wants. It's as simple as that.
That is what changed.
Just as simple as that.
Just a few months ago, the NPP had full confidence in the judiciary. One person has been changed. That is the former Chief Justice. By the change of one person, you've diminished all of the trust you have in the judiciary. Is that what you're saying?
That is it.
Because of one
simply
person.
So, when President J. Kufuor came to power and met a Chief Justice that was serving under former President Rawlings, DFNI, members of the MPP, some wanted President Kufuor to use the law to sack him. President Kufuor said that if there is anything that this country will be left with that will preserve our peace and security, it will be the judiciary. So it is something that must not be touched. President Mills was confronted with the same issue. Akufo-Addo has been confronted with it. Selfish Mahama thinks that he wants absolute power unto himself and for the NDC alone. And so he has gone ahead to touch the only surviving arm of the Constitution that presumed to be independent before his coming into office. And once he has touched that, what else is left? And so if the head is caught, any other appendage of the body is useless. And so they are all trying to save their jobs. It is as simple as that. We must all come to terms with it. Nobody should try to garnish whatever is going on as if we are sycophants or hypocrites. I believe that we all know the end of what President Mahama has started. He believes that with the Chief Justice, all judges now kowtowing, he has the power to sack the EC. If they say that he wants to go for a third term, maybe we should go and run referendum. Every electoral commission staff is going to make sure that what they want, and at the end of the day, they will use all these processes, presumed to be democratic, to do what they want to do. And so we believe that the people of this country must come to accept it. And one way to let them know the plan and the plot of the NDC is what our parliamentarians did yesterday. And as I'm saying, they must continue to do that wherever and whenever they find themselves as parliamentarians. Until Ghanaians get to understand it, the NDC may take all of us for granted. And I don't expect the media especially to sing along the tunes of the NDC. Yesterday, we believed in the judiciary. We still believe that with an independent judiciary, they will be able to do their work. But we believe that the judiciary's arm is being twisted. That's the point we are making. And it's been twisted by cutting the head off. Every one of them at the bench now lives in fear. Don't forget, in 1982, 3 strong judges of this country who presided over issues, passed justifiable judgments, were taken and killed. And so every one of them today continue to remind him or herself about that incident that happened in 1982. And so don't take whatever the NDC is doing for granted. We as a minority party have the obligation, we have the responsibility. We are mandated by the fact that we were sent to the chamber by the people of this country to stand for their welfare, to stand for what is right for them. And so I think the parliamentarians must continue to re-echo their points. In any way, if, let me ask you this question. If Honorable Nyindam has filed an appeal, if the appeal is going to be determined, and if it comes out that the appeals court quashes the decision of the High Court judge, if by then the people of Pandai have elected another member of parliament, if they have elected another member of parliament, because don't forget, the law says that once parliament declares the seat vacant and informs the EC has 60 days to run an election. And so if they go ahead and elect another person constitutionally elected through elections, through the Electoral Commission, and then the appeals court goes ahead and says that the judgment of the High Court judge is void, what are we going to do? Are we going to have 2 parliamentarians for that particular seat? What are we going to do?
We know that the Supreme Court's decision overrides every other decision that any court has taken. And yesterday in our conversation with a legal practitioner, what we got to appreciate was that if the Supreme Court's decision overrides, if the Supreme Court's decision overturns the High Court's decision, it stands.
So why can't they allow the Supreme Court to make that decision as quick as they want to do it, before the Speaker goes ahead to put all of us in this chaos?
Okay. Well, Dennis, I'll come back to you. Let me go back to Dr. Efriye. Doc, this is an assertion the NPP have been advancing. They've been holding this opinion for a while now, that every decision that is happening, whether in Parliament or outside, is just to lay the foundation or the grounds for President Mahama to have a 3rd term. And so the NDC's focus is one: do everything to make sure that at the end of the day, President Mahama will have a 3rd term. Really, do we see merit in this?
Yes, you can't begrudge the minority for saying that, or the NPP, because they are all political entities and they read through the actions and inactions of their party decisions. You know, they know that some of these issues have been discussed by the NDC party in their various levels, trying to have that agenda, even though President Mahama has made a statement towards that he does not have any intention of going for the 3rd term. But, you know, because of some sycophants and other people's selfish interests, that is what they do, and that is what is happening in the West African region. That even just some few days ago, we realized that the constitution of Benin was to extend the certain president to a term of office. So some of these things, it is just a way to create an impression. And you also have these our own pastors. They call themselves like prophecies that God has spoken to them to come out that they have seen in the president as if that God is the one who developed the constitution. At the same time, humans also don't have a way to also decide whether God is at work or God is not at work. These are the situation, the environment is being created. You see a certain prophet coming out, I've seen that President Mama will go to a church, and we know that we are religious in a way. Ghanaians are most religious, whether it's Islam or Christianity, we are religious. So the moment you hear some of these things, and these political actors, selfish and the sycophants will take an opportunity out of it. And the situation demands that, the system has been created that President Mahama has a lot of power now. So if that agenda is being thrown out, and the political actors also push into it, then it takes in the minds of in the minds of people or these political what do you call it, fanatics, to perpetuate that agenda. And these are some of the things that goes on because of their selfish interest. And even within the party itself, it will be a problem for them. But some people care less, and they think that their interest is more paramount than any other group of people. So you cannot begrudge the MPP of trying to let this known and using that. Because what would be your main motivation to go to Pandai and say that a constituency that you were being given a gap of 3,000, more than 3,000 votes. At the same time, it is you went in for 41 polling stations, and so if that is the situation, then the judge make a statement that because of the 41 and other things, you have cancelled all, and you have to go and rerun all the various polling stations. And that is not how we make some judgment. And as Kwakwa was saying, nobody can begrudge that the judges of late are in a coercive mood or in a state that is a state of fear. Because even if you want to apply the law in a fair manner, because your head has been removed, so which means that anybody within the system is subject to removal if it doesn't toe the line of the ruling government. And that is what is going on within the judiciary. The judiciary is not now being seen as an arm of government that have the liberty, have the free mind to do whatever they want to do. It is one thing that the NDC adopted to use it as a strategy to coerce and try to infiltrate into the judiciary so that they can have all the agenda that is being pursued by some few NDC members. So, it's something that is in the air, and so the MPP cannot say that it's not possible. Everything is possible if a way is given.
Well, this really is an issue of great concern. This matter about third term, and some of the questions that Dennis raises. I wish that we had Rashid Tanko Computer, the Deputy Director for Elections and IT for the NDC, with that. He was supposed to join us so that he could also weigh in on some of these questions that have been raised. But Doc, let me come back to Parliament again. We've talked about the 8th Parliament. We've talked about how we expected the 9th Parliament to be different from the 8th Parliament, seeing how the 8th Parliament started and sustained the momentum all throughout its lifetime. Now the 9th Parliament begins, we are seeing these actions. Does it not send a certain signal at the moment that the minority is just undermining the authority of Parliament, undermining the face of Parliament, so much so that it is bringing some blight to Parliament as a whole and Speaker as the leader of Parliament?
I know this Parliament that chairs was thrown at the committee level.
It is.
Tables was broken and other things. So you see, a seed has been sown, and it is now germinating to all the other terms of parliament. So some of us, it's not so surprising. And you know, if you sow violence, you will bear the fruits of violence. You know, so Pandai issue was necessitated through violence, where coalition was an issue and violence was used to disrupt it. So it is violence that we use to solve the situation, as people will tend to use their way out. They think that they have power. And that is why I'm advising the NDC that they have to be very careful. They should not think, even in military government of Rawlings, people stayed and Rawlings' term of office ended. So they should never think, if it cannot be, even military people were able to, Ghanaians were able to succumb to some of these things and even sat in and was able to cut some of these things down. So they should not be deceived by the numbers that they have. They should not be deceived that they have the power of removing the Chief Justice. All the three arms of government is under President Mahama. All the state institutions, they are being removed with people that they can work with. And that's what they have been doing everywhere. So now the country is owned by President Mahama, if I should say so.
Doc, is that how you feel?
Doc,
is that how you feel? That
it's not what I feel, it's what I see, Abna. It's not what I see. Feeling is subjective, it's what I see. Are you not here that you've seen that this country, the Chief Justice has been removed? Are you not here that all state institutions, they are being removed? All those state institutions, you know, they say, oh, it's a legal process, then they just remove you. It's a legal process, they just remove you. The numbers that they've got in Parliament is encouraging them to use it to make any changes that they should have even done within their previous terms. Any state institution that they have been victimized as a party or as any individual or a party member or whatever, in even the past, they will have to go through all the systems and realize that no, we have to get you out. That is what is happening. I mean, we should not deceive ourselves. I don't begrudge them for doing that, but the end result is what we are looking at. Yes, you are in power. Ghanaians have elected you, so that is how you want to run the country. Fine. But if now you have been a beneficiary of some of these actions, don't ever think that you stay in power. Maybe the other person also come to power, and maybe they can do worse than as you are doing, and at the end of the day, you are going to complain. And that's what we are all looking at. If you allow the current government to use their powers, to use whatever they are, now you don't have media people talking about this government. The media space, should I say, is now in the hands of the ruling government. I mean, you cannot tell me that the past 11 months, this government is sacrosanct or they are all doing whatever. No, you can't just convince me that. Your fourth estate that they are supposed to ensure that the right things are done, everybody is quiet. So let's be quiet. Let's handle. Look at state institutions. Look at these contracts. They are being cancelled here and there. Fine. So they are not Ghanaians. So you have different Ghanaians. You come into power. You cancel every contract, every software, all the situation that has happened at National Service, that more than 50% have not reported for their service, is due to this cancellation of the software being used. They want to give it to their people. You go to Health, Ministry of Health, they want to give it to their people. If you go to Ministry of Finance, they want to give it to their people. So they just cancel everything and give it to their people. We are all Ghanaians, so if you give it to somebody, fine, but the right procedure and other things need to be followed.
Okay. So, well, Doc, I'll come back to you. Joining us at the moment is the CEO for GIFEC, Rashid Tanko Computer. Mr. Computer, thank you for your time this morning, sir.
Good morning, dear. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We had been looking forward to speaking with you earlier.
This morning, the morning has been a busy one.
All right. Thank you so much for making time.
Quite busy. Yes.
Yesterday, some very interesting scenes in Parliament from the minority side. Beyond all of that, there have been some assertions that all that is happening is a grand scheme by the NDC to give President Mahama a third term. That is why we are seeing so many things that border on anomaly. You are Deputy Director for IT and Elections for the NDC. Is the NDC seeking to give President John Dramani Mahama a third term?
What has Pandaya MP removal from Parliament got to do with President Mahama's term of office? What has it got to do with it?
You want to get a super majority in Parliament and amend our constitution.
We already have 2/3 majority.
More numbers do not spoil anything.
That is it. We have 2/3 majority. So if that is what they are talking about, we have 2/3. Ghanaians gave us 2/3 majority.
Okay.
They voted for us. We didn't put guns at the heads of Ghanaians. They saw the wisdom in giving this mandate to NDC because they believe that the NDC was the party that could do the job. At the time we're doing the campaign, we sold our manifesto to them. We showed them superior strategy that we can turn the economy around for them. And they queued and voted massively for NDC and gave us this majority. I mean, so what are they talking about?
The NDC.
They are insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians with what they did yesterday. That lawlessness they put out there, nobody is going to... Look, let me tell you, whether they like it or not, the constitution of this country must continue to be enforced. Look, nobody can sidestep the constitution. No, nobody is above the constitution. Even the president himself is not above the constitution.